So we got the full summary for 1119. We're going over the full chapter here, and we're seeing that big, massive group attack that Bonnie, Luffy, Sanji, and Frankie are launching on Mars of the Gorosei in full detail, and it's pretty epic. We're also hearing Joy Boy talk. We went over this yesterday, but, we're going to get the full sequence here today. And we're also seeing how strong the ancient robot really is. Apparently, he's as strong as a freaking Yonko, I guess. But let's get into it. So the chapter starts inside Egghead Laboratory, and Kaku has been released from the bubble by Stussy, but Kaku is angry with Stussy for the last words Edison told her. Friends, don't make me laugh. Kaku tells Stussy to go away before Lucci arrives where they are now. We don't see Lucci in this chapter. However, we can see Kaku's face while he talks, and he's holding back tears. Cut to Egghead Shore. The Giants are cheering for Luffy and Bonnie, and Mars talks with them. The Giants say, Nika. I guess that's how they're saying it, judging from this text here. Mars says, 2 Nikas. That is merely a fake transformation thanks to the Toshi no Mi's power. Don't get ahead of yourself. So yeah, we talked about this yesterday, and for the last week, Bonnie's able to do this because of her devil fruit, as Mars says, which had been experimented on, which allows her to go into different timelines or whatever to become different aspects of what she or someone else may or may not have become. Still remains to be seen if it is a quote-unquote fake transformation, but it seems to have some real tangible effects on reality. Mars attacks Elbaf's ship with another fire blast from his mouth, and Luffy transforms into the gigantic balloon to block the fire. Luffy shouts in pain, but he manages to hold the fire back and protects the ship. Wow, Luffy, I guess you could say, is straight up tanking one of Mars's beam cannon things. That's pretty wild. At least he's shouting in pain, but it's not going through him, and it's not severely damaging him. So I guess this is an actual tanking. That word gets thrown around a lot, and it's kind of lost its meaning somewhat, but this is a real straight up tanking. It's not like a Dragon Ball Z tank where he's just standing there cold faced, but still. Luffy then stretches his arms and grabs both of Mars' wings. Then he talks with Sanji and the others. Luffy says, these monsters can recover no matter what we do. So the only way that we have to take care of them is to blow them away as far as possible. Then Luffy asks Bonnie, Sanji, and Frankie to attack his balloon body with everything they have. Bonnie is shocked, but all of them follow Luffy's plans. Sanji says, Ifrit Jambe, Hell's Memories. Frankie says, Strong Impact Right. Bonnie says, Extra Large Nika Punch. Bonnie, Sanji, and Frankie combined attacks hit Luffy's back. Luffy shouts, it hurts, because they used hockey. Then Luffy makes his body even bigger and pushes Mars towards his giant belly. Luffy says, Gum Gum White Balloon, and Luffy combines Bonnie, Sanji, and Frankie's attacks with his own strength and blows Mars away across the ocean. We can see a flash in the sky where Mars disappears, like when Team Rocket is defeated in Pokemon's anime, LOL. Yeah, this is what actually happened. We talked about this yesterday, but we didn't have all the details here like this. This is, I gotta say, pretty cool. I like that they're using Luffy as a conduit for this blast. It probably didn't have to go down like this, but I guess it makes more sense to get a concentrated hit instead of them all kind of trying to hit them all at once. There'd be too many cooks in the kitchen, I guess, at that point. But yeah, this reminds me of what Luffy did to Cracker back in Whole Cake, one of the best fight ending sequences in the series, in my opinion. I don't know if this is gonna trump that, but I'm sure they'll try really hard once it comes to the anime. But yeah, really cool. And Mars isn't quote unquote defeated here, but I guess he is, as we talked about yesterday, cooked for this arc. He might not be coming back because he's just too far away at this point. But he'll of course eventually come back later. But first, guys, Hofsco is doing a huge giveaway where you can win one of their Xander Max 10-inch folding electric scooters for free by simply just following Hofsco on Facebook and Instagram, as well as joining their official Hofsco Facebook group. That's it. That's literally all you need to do to be entered to win a free Xander Max 10-inch folding electric scooter. The giveaway is running from today, June 12th to June 30th. I'll have the links in the description. Thanks, guys. After pushing Mars away, Elbaf's ship is ready to set sail. Luffy asks where is Usopp and the others, and Sanji says they're late. We don't see Nami's group, Zoro, Jinbei, or Nusjoro in this chapter. Atlas tells Sanji and the others that they need to go do something first. Then she tells Lilith in her head that York is able to track their movements now. Atlas is about to say what they must do, but the scene changes. Cut to underwater, the ancient robot gets up, and the transmission Dendenmushi inside it wakes up too. Vegapunk's message resumes and we can hear some of his words, but there are little interruptions in the transmission. Vegapunk says the thing that was inherited can be called a will. I hope this message will reach those who are swayed by the cause. So yeah, she's talking about the Will of D here, which we don't have a full explanation on yet, but I just assume it's something that was made during the Void Century, probably coming from Joy Boy and his merry band of boys maybe, and it was like, hey, we'll put this initial in our trusted group members and we'll have it being passed on throughout their lineage so that our plan for saving the world will never die off, and whoever has a D is a potential person to become the next Messiah, or something like that. And maybe it's a little more nuanced, but I'm assuming that's the gist of it. We can see reactions around the world when people see Vegapunk appears again in the screens. In Whole Cake Island, we see Katakuri, Moscato, Brownie, and Tsukato wondering what he is talking about now. Vivi and Morgans are in shock again seeing the transmission is back. And finally, we can see Gaimon and Sarfunkel's reaction to Vegapunk's message. But since they don't have any Dendenmushi, they are not aware of the worldwide broadcast. Back to Egghead Island, York tells the five elders that the transmission Dendenmushi uses separate circuits for transmission and memory storage. So the only way to permanently stop the broadcast is destroy it completely. Jupiter spits out the Cypher Pole agents and Seraphims onto the marine battleships. Then Jupiter starts sucking back Elbaf's ship. So a little altruistic action from Jupiter here. All the other Gorosei kind of saw everybody else here as like insects, quite literally, but Jupiter going out of his way to save these Cypher Pole agents. It's not like they're CP0. They're like CP1 through 5 guys. I don't know, but they're not like important really. I understand saving the Seraphims, but him saving the Cypher Pole agents might give more credence to the big grand theory that Jupiter is actually like a good guy and that he is ultimately going to betray the Gorosei and Emu. Maybe, maybe not. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Buy your stock now if you haven't. Luffy jumps back to the shore and punches Jupiter's face to stop him, but while Luffy is punching Jupiter, Workuri runs past him and jumps to Elbaf's ship. Workuri is about to crash into it. Luffy says, oh no, the boar is coming. Be careful. That guy's head is super hard. Bragi says, that guy looks like trouble. Let's move or he will break our ship into pieces. We can see that Bonnie turned back into a kid after the extra large Nika punch she used. Sanji says, Bonnie-chan. And Bonnie says, I can't do this anymore. Freedom is so exhausting. I know, tell me about it. Being American is pretty hard. But yeah, it's understandable that Bonnie has gassed out here considering that Luffy, the real, Nika Gear 5 guy, gasses out after just using it for a couple minutes. Luffy notices something coming underwater. It's the ancient giant robot that remembers Joy Boy's voice from the past. We can't see Joy Boy yet. The ancient robot says, Joy Boy. Suddenly, in the epic final double page of the chapter, the ancient robot rises out from the sea and punches Workuri's face, breaking one of his giant fangs. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. Giant robot is incredibly powerful. I mean, yeah, he got like one-shotted, in the previous chapter or the chapter before that when he got launched by Workuri. But I guess he just wasn't really caring or he wasn't cognizant. But now that he is and he's actually trying, he's doing like Yonko level damage here. Or I don't know. I'm not going to get into what's the difference between Admiral, Yonko, and all that stuff. But he's just as powerful as like one of those characters who in theory would only be able to replicate a feat like this to one of the freaking Gorosei, right? Or if you're a giant injected with Oda's power creep. And it's understandable since he comes from the Void Century and he's comprised of like the best technology to ever exist in this world, and he was like Joy Boy's, I don't know, right-hand man or something, or I don't know, one of his boys, one of his joyous boys, and he's huge, so he's pretty powerful. Joy Boy says, listen Emeth, when the time comes you must, and Emeth says, the time? Apparently the giant robot's name is Emeth. So we talked about his name yesterday and how it is derived from Hebrew origins and essentially means like a faithful man. But there might be a little more to it because Emeth is also a figure in Jewish mythology. And in one version of the Golem legend, the Kabbalist Elijah Baal Shem of Chelmcrafts in clay a man's form, which he brings to life by writing the word, I don't know what that is, on its forehead. So that's pretty interesting. I guess you could consider this Iron Giant a golem, which maybe came to life from Joy Boy or something. Also pretty interesting that Prince Gru's devil fruit is also like called golem or something, and when he brings them to life they have like a mark on their forehead. So I don't think this is coincidence. Oda's definitely cooking up something here. Everyone is shocked. Dory and Broggy's eyes pop out of their sockets and Luffy's eyes become sparkling. Dory and Broggy says, "What the heck is this guy?" And Luffy says, "Robot!" Editor's message is romance on the move once more. I guess that's a reference to Joy Boy and what he did back in the Void Century, you know, Romance Dawn and all that stuff. End of chapter. So yeah, we got a break next week, but we will be back the week after that. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys, and if you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.